Good evening and welcome to my How Healthy Are You weekly educational call. My name is Dr. Thomas Brewer. I'm a PhD chemist. I'm going to begin this call by answering a couple of questions that were provided between the time the last call ended and now. The first question is part of a larger question that I get often when I explain the slow carbohydrate diet. So this is a way to eat so that one day a week you can eat anything you want, but the other 6 days your only carbohydrate source is from vegetables. So usually what happens when people do this diet, a number of questions come up. So as a bit of a review, if your only carbohydrate source is vegetables, well, that's really all you need to know, because if any food contains carbohydrates and it's not a vegetable, you don't eat it. So do fruits contain carbohydrates? Absolutely. Well, they're off the list for 6 days. You can eat as much as you want on your 7th day or cheat day. So one of the questions was beans. Well, beans are considered a vegetable. They're not from an animal. They're not animal-based food. So beans are good. They're something you can have. Remember, we're not counting carbohydrates. You can eat as many as you want. It's just you're getting them from vegetables. It's the source. So we're not adding, counting, totaling carbohydrates, which is always a mistake when someone demonizes a whole macronutrient. So this is a very effective way to eat. It's very healthy. It'll balance your hormones. But you'll also go into fat-burning mode without being in total ketosis. So getting back to what you can and can't do, because that's where all the questions lie. One was on dairy, and unfortunately dairy does contain something that ends in OSE, in this case lactose, and ingredients that end in OSE are sugars, like sucrose, glucose, fructose. So lactose is a sugar, it's a carbohydrate. Milk, i.e. dairy, contains carbohydrates. It is not a vegetable, so therefore it's out for 6 days a week. There's a little bit of wiggle room with milk, because full-fat milk and higher, such as cream or whipping cream, half and half, a small amount in coffee is okay. It won't break the system where you go into fat-burning mode. So a very, very small amount. Another question comes with alcohol. My advice is to avoid it 6 days a week. But for those that absolutely have to, I believe you can go with vodka, which is carbohydrate-free. But I don't think that's the type of question one should be asking when they're trying to burn fat, because not a lot of good happens consuming alcohol. It's easy to tip the balance and harm your liver above and beyond any benefit that occurs from consuming alcohol. And that harm occurs at the second drink. So you would be limited to just one drink. But anyway, the answer with alcohol is you can have it if it's a carbohydrate-free alcohol. Now, there were some other questions in the email, and when we go to live conferencing, I'm going to have to ask whoever ask that question just to ask me the rest of the questions. I've been looking for that email for the last 15 minutes, and I don't know what happened to it, but I'm just going on memory what the questions were. But while I'm talking about the slow carbohydrate diet, I had also given some pointers last week about things you can do on cheat day. It was either last week or the week before. So those still hold, where you do some sort of cardiovascular exercise for just a few seconds, 15 to 30 seconds. It could be jumping jacks. It could be jumping up and down. It could be running in place, something before that cheat meal. It will have less of a negative effect. But even if you don't do anything, the cheat meals still won't be a problem as long as you consume them in a 12-hour period on your cheat day and then go right back into your diet. The other question was about meat that I remember. So meat does not contain, oh boy, there's a guy right here blowing leaves. I'm going to pause just a minute here. Wow, what timing. So anyway, the other question was about meat, and that I remember. Oh, gosh, here we go. Okay, I think he's walking away. So meat actually does not contain carbohydrates. So meat is on the list. You can have it. The only way it's a problem is when one prepares meat, say, with some sort of breading or something like that. In that case, there will be carbohydrates associated with the meat. But meat in and of itself is a carbohydrate-free, and the rule is your only source of carbohydrates is from vegetables. So if a food doesn't have carbohydrates, well, then you can have it. And that means it contains either protein, fat, or both protein and fat. And what falls into that category is meat and eggs and nuts and seeds. They're protein and fat. So those foods are on the list that you can have. So there was another question potential question. I wanted to answer it, and it was about a supplement known as Juice Plus. And this is a very popular supplement. And the question was, how is it, how good is it, et cetera. I usually don't like talking a lot about people's products, but I'm flattered that people ask me these types of questions because I provide a very truthful and honest answer without an agenda. So Juice Plus is a fabulous product. It is very good. And it is also extremely expensive, way overpriced for what you're getting. And so that's just the good and the bad. It is an absolutely wonderful product. If you have access to fruits and vegetables, then if you bought them yourself and either ate them raw, put them in a salad, put them in a blender, or even cook them slightly, you're going to save 80 or 90% of the value from Juice Plus. But if you're traveling, it's an absolutely wonderful substitute when you can't get to fresh produce or aren't near a store or something like that. Say you're at a conference, and I know we don't do conferences anymore, but if you're in some situation where you don't have access to fresh food, or perhaps another lockdown, that'd be another example, it's a great choice. Just extremely expensive to do it long term. And the business model is designed that way. It's I believe it's multi-level marketing, and there's so much profit that must be paid out to the downline system. So it ends up being a much more expensive product than if they were to, say, advertise on television or the radio. It's way more expensive to pay a downline, and that's why these products tend to be expensive. But what's good about it is there's no fillers in there, and that's what I always look for when evaluating a product. I want to see how much of the ingredients are active ingredients and how much is filler and binder, and also the quality of the ingredients. But Juice Plus is quite impressive. It's just you're going to pay for it. All right, so that's all I had on my end for this week's call. I'm going to go off lecture mode, and if the person is on the line that had the questions about the slow-carb diet, please let me know if there was something I missed. So maybe that person isn't on the call. Were there any other questions on the slow carbohydrate diet, what you can and can't have? I guess not. All right then. Well, then I'll close out the call, and I'll be doing another call next week. Make sure you read the newsletter. It'll be going out in probably an hour or two. Until then, have a safe and healthy week.
Dr. Brewer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you have time to make any comments on systemic candida?
Meaning candida in the system and you just can't get rid of it?
That's right.
Yeah. So candida thrives in a slightly acidic environment. So one thing that needs to be done is consuming alkaline-type foods, which are going to be green vegetables, along with other foods, but green vegetables come to mind first. If you were to look at a pH chart of foods, and I believe you can just Google a food pH chart, and you'd see the foods that are alkaline. And I don't mean alkaline water. I mean alkaline foods.
Yeah.
That would be one place, one of the first things to do. The next, you'll have to go through a lightning colloidal silver cycle, at least 2 to 4 weeks, somewhere in there, where you're consuming an ounce of colloidal silver every day, a half an ounce perhaps before your first meal and a half an ounce before your last meal of the day, something like that, where you're consuming an ounce a day, but you're splitting it up into 2 1/2 ounce doses on an empty stomach. Because it's really the only way to kill it, knock it out of the system. The third thing is when yeast continues to grow, it also indicates that the white blood cells are not active enough to destroy the yeast. And so in that case, I would recommend anything that increases the immune system. So consuming vegetables is high on that list. And, of course, if the vegetables are alkaline, that makes them doubly important. The Steromax product is also almost a must in order to get those white blood cells active so that they can kill the yeast on a regular basis. Once you do a colloidal silver cycle, whether it's 2 to 4 weeks, you'll follow that up with a double dose of probiotics for the same amount of time one took the colloidal silver, whether it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. You would take a double dose of probiotics. But remember, while you're taking colloidal silver, you do not take probiotics. So no probiotics when you're taking colloidal silver, and then they won't cancel each other out. So that's what needs to be done with yeast. It can be very difficult to get rid of. And really the final step is you pretty much have to go on the slow-carb diet, meaning you just can't consume any carbohydrate that isn't vegetables.
How about something like sweet potato?
You can have that, yeah, in small amounts, yes. Yeah, yeah.
How about the lightning?
What's that?
How about, you talked about the lightning silver.
Yeah, lightning colloidal silver.
Is that important? It has to be the lightning kind, or?
It'll be 30 times more effective, which makes it 30 times less expensive.
Uh-huh.
So it'll end up saving you a lot of money because of its
Enriching
efficiency.
Gifts? Is that Enriching Gifts?
It is. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. You can call me directly if you need a discount code.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I would have a few questions if you have more time.
Yeah, I do.
You were talking about the Juice Plus being extremely expensive.
Right.
One of my doctors is looking at Enriching Gifts the same way. She just thinks the research that she's done, she just can't understand why the price is up there so far. And I didn't try to really convince her.
That's a good question. So here's the answer. There is not a lower priced enzyme on the market. So if your doctor can find a lower priced enzyme, the owner of Enriching Gifts will pay her a minimum of $1,000 just for bringing it to his attention. So if she knows of a lower priced enzyme based on activity, I mean, you gotta base it on something. So they are the lowest priced products on the market based on activity. The colloidal silver, the enzymes, the Steromax, the probiotics, everything. I constantly look for lower priced products, and I still haven't found anything close to the activity.
She was looking like at the Aloe Ace. She said something about that she knows about some aloe products that aren't nearly that expensive, and
right.
I
Totally
don't
different
know what
product.
them though either.
Yeah, totally different. I don't even know of another aloe made from the rind that's freeze-dried. I don't even know it exists.
I think she probably has not done enough of research, and yet I don't have the access that she does for researching, and so I have to go by what I hear across this line.
Yeah.
And I think she feels like I'm getting twisted around a little bit.
Yeah. If she finds anything less expensive that's the same quality, I would love to know what it is.
She said she had done some different research and had gone on different sites and things and some reviews and stuff like that, and I don't really know, I'm not knowledgeable enough to know how to answer her on some of those things. It seems like she got a hold of information that is negative concerning,
I don't know.
Doctor reports, reviews and stuff that people have posted. I didn't quite remember exactly how she said it all, but.
Well, I think she needs to talk to the owner of the company. She can call him right up.
She said she tried to send some questions, an email to Enriching Gifts, and she said they never answered. She wasn't very happy about that, but I don't know what kind of an email it was either.
Yeah. Have her call the owner directly. His phone number is right on the website, and he answers his phone really well.
Okay.
Or she can just go to his conference call. It's Wednesdays. That's also on the website, and ask him right on at the conference call. He'll be right there.
Okay. Well, I might suggest that to her. She wants me to get help, and she doesn't care where the help comes from.
Right.
She just wants to make sure that I'm not pouring a lot of money into something that could be switched out with a better price. Right.
Boy, if someone knows of a better price, I'm all ears. I've been looking, and I don't see anything even close. I mean, even these products that consider themselves great, they're not even close. They're not even competitive. But anyway, she needs to talk to the owner of the company because he knows how he formulates, and he knows his raw material suppliers. And he would love to talk to her. If she sent an email, it actually went to his daughter, who runs the website, and she's not going to get involved. But the owner of the company would love to talk to her.
Okay, I'll try to give her that message. You had told me once that... I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. You had told me once that if I order like a total of 12 bottles of stuff at a time, that it will be a little better price.
Right.
Is there any other things that I should know? Is there any other options or combinations of things I had a friend.
That's it, really.
Okay,
That's
all right.
yeah.
I had a friend that had. I need to find out how she did it, but she was supposedly getting enzymes and stuff like that a whole lot cheaper. I think she had to order a case of 12, but I don't know exactly where she ordered from. And the price was less, and so I wasn't sure.
Probably set herself up as a wholesale distributor.
Okay.
So that might be what she did.
Okay. Well, I don't think that I can do anything like that. So.
Yeah. Because normally to do better, you need to purchase 8 cases of 12 at a time.
Okay.
So that'd be 96 bottles of one particular product.
Okay. Are there any products on sale right now that I should know about? I need to place an order here soon with you.
Yeah, the aloe, or not the aloe, the amino acids are still half price.
Okay.
And that'll be ending soon, but they're still half price.
Okay. I was just curious before I place my order to know a little bit what is going.
Call me directly.
Okay.
But I think you're getting quite good pricing. But
I was happy with what you told me to do. Like 12 at a time. 12.
Right.
It can be an assorted selection, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That I can work with that and look far enough ahead to make it be an order of that size.
Right. Yeah. Because when you do that, we save on shipping.
Mm-hmm. And then I had
we'll
one
just pass
question.
that back.
Oh, sorry. One question about probiotic. What my mother is using here, when she opens a capsule and puts it right in her mouth for her tongue problem, it's not powdery. It comes out the shape of a capsule after you pull it apart. Does that mean that the quality is not good enough anymore?
All right, say that again from the beginning.
When she opens up a capsule to put it in her mouth, directly on her tongue to deal with her mouth problem.
Oh.
The capsule is not powdery anymore. It's just the insides
the
come
humidity.
Out.
Yeah.
So
the
is
humidity.
It just a humidity problem? She keeps the bottle closed, opens it up to get a pill out.
Yeah. It's the humidity where she is.
So the quality is still okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's definitely the humidity.
Okay. It was just kind of interesting how when she opened up the capsule that you could just pull the insides right out and it all stayed together.
Right. Right. Is that the Enriching Gifts probiotic?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
that's another question for the owner, Ron Schneider. But I'm pretty sure it's just humidity.
She's been working on this bottle for a little while. So it probably happened, here at our house.
Yeah, because the bottle probably had been opened numerous times.
I think.
It's humidity related. I am 99% sure of that.
Okay, we'll keep on using it, and after a bit the bottle will be gone, but we just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. If we don't have any more questions, I'll finish out the call. It's interesting how I'm all ready to finish out the call unless we have questions, but it might take some time for people to figure out what to do with their phone to ask a question. Anyway, again, I wish everyone a safe and healthy week, and we'll talk again next week. Okay, good night, everybody.